Hi, my name is Chezi Misia, and this is my statistics project on Dollar Street. And for this project, I used Dollar Street to compare proportions between two continents based on the pictures provided by that website. So the continents that I chose were Asia and Africa, and I decided to explore the topic on their different types of sofas. And now I'm going to explain how I assessed each country. The first country I'm going to explain is Asia. And in order for the sofa to be a success is that it has to be a sofa with a sturdy structure and some form of cushion like pillows or just like cushions on the sofa. And my P1 is the proportion of all Asian families who have a sofa, which would also be considered a success. So in this case, as you can see, picture 1 is not a success because there's no sturdy structure or any form of cushion, as well as picture 2 and picture 5. But the successes are the ones who have stars on them. You can see that there is a sturdy structure, it looks like a sofa, and there's some form of cushion like pillows and cushions. And then at the after I gathered all my information, my N1 is the total number of pictures of sofas in Asia, so that would be, I counted 148 total pictures, but out of those 148, only 93 of those pictures was a success or sofas. And then my p-hat would be 0.628 or 63%. So I used pretty much the same thought process for Africa as I did for Asia. But in this case, the P2 is the proportion of all African families who have sofas. And the success is the same. As you can see in these pictures right here, that these are not a success because there's no like structure like a sofa or any form of cushion. But these with stars do in fact fit the criteria for the success. But after I looked through all the pictures, I found 57 total pictures of sofas, but only 37 of those sofas were a success, which turns out to be a 65% for P-hat 2. So using the information provided, I conducted a hypothesis test to determine whether there is any evidence of a difference in my chosen proportion. So the null hypothesis would be H0 P1 minus P2 equals 0, or that there is no difference between the proportion of the two continents' sofas. The alternative hypothesis is H1 P1 minus P2 is not equal to 0, or whether the proportion who have a couch is different for the two continents. The t-statistic turned out to be negative 0.276 and the p-value 0.7823. And since the p-value is greater than the alpha of 0.05, we will fail to reject the null hypothesis, meaning that we do not have convincing evidence that there is a difference in the two population proportions. And even though the two sample proportions were different, the difference could have just happened by chance. I also conducted a 95 confidence interval test. And based on the results, the 95 confidence interval was negative 0.167 to 0.125. This means that we are 95% confident that the difference between the proportion of all the houses that have a couch in Africa and Asia is within this interval. And since the confidence interval contains a 0, it is possible that the two proportions could be equal. Therefore, this supports the hypothesis test by failing to reject the null. And here are my references.